Hello everyone, I'm going to start with pharmacology now. How do we study pharmacology if you're a dental student and you actually find it difficult to study a lot, because this is actually a lot when you start studying pharmacology. You're not an MBBS student, so but you have to study pharma, and this is actually a subject for you, and it's kind of difficult because there's a lot to cram and there's a lot to learn, and there are some books which are, sometimes it's just difficult for you to understand, sometimes it's difficult for you to learn, sometimes it's difficult for you to revise from all of that. So yeah, you have to get yourself a good book and you have to get yourself a good plan to get it done with in as less time as possible. So I'm first going to start with the books that I'm going to read, and then I don't know. Anyways, what am I saying? I'm going to start with the books that I love, and they have made my life pretty easier. So, and why do I like them? So, starting with this book. This is Lippincott Illustrated Reviews. You're not able to see it properly. See, Lippincott Illustrated Reviews, and this is pharmacology. This is a 6th edition book because I think it's old. So Karen Whalen, and this is the book from. These are the writers, I guess. This is the book. So what do I like about Lippincott, which other books do not have? Lippincott gives an overview before starting a chapter. So what happens is, when you get an overview, you know what you're talking about, what they are talking about, what the chapter is about. So if you're, for example, if you're doing opioids, no, you shouldn't start with opioids. Let me find you a chapter. For example, if we are doing sedative hypnotic drugs, that are the sedative hypnotic anxiolytic drugs, this is the chapter. The chapter has this overview part in the start. This is the overview. So it tells you what the drugs are about, why do you need these drugs, what is the condition that led to the use of this drug, that leads to the need of this drug. So you actually get the idea. Then in the rest of the chapter as well, like when these drugs have started, the thing is, you have to understand that every chapter has this brown box, this kind of box. I don't know what the color in your edition might be, because but mine has this color. So this box, every chapter has this box of summary. It says it's a summary box, but it's not really a summary box, it's a classification box. But the classification is given in this kind of way. So I prefer that the classification be given in the web way, because that's easier to learn. But what you can do is you can make your own web in your notes later on. Then when they have given the explained the classifications like this, again they have given a little overview. So this overview helps you again every step of the way, so you kind of understand everything. They give you good diagrams to understand from, like this one actually really helped me understand the mechanism of action. So it was really cool. It's very easy when you have to just memorize it, and it gets very easy. That's it. So yeah, this is all I'd say about this book for now. After this book, I'm going to start with Katzenberg and Trevor. This is the other book that most of the students prefer reading more than Lippincott, because people find Lippincott really long and all, but I actually prefer Lippincott for the first read and for making my notes, but whatever suits you more. What I like Katzenberg and Trevor for is these diagrams. I don't know what the page number for that chapter would be over here. Yes, this is the chapter that we looked at the other book. So you can see that in this book they have made these webs. These webs are actually very helpful when you're trying to study, and they're helpful than those columns that the one column that was made in the Lippincott. But overall, this book does not have a good overview. This book is for someone who has already had the concept and just wants to learn the pharmacology. So you do not have a proper concept and you want to start with this book. That's kind of like difficult. So you should probably you should definitely go with this book first and then come to this one. So other than that, this book is very look, there's no overview given. This is a small overview maybe, but this is not enough. This is not an overview. This is not enough. This is not the overview of the problem that the drug has to deal with, while the other book had that thing. Anyways, this is the thing about this book. Then this book has this summary table at the end, drug summary table, sedator. This table actually helps a lot, like this. So this table actually helps a lot. How does this help you? Wait, let me focus it. Yeah. So this is the subclasses given right here. Then these are the mechanisms of action. Then the clinical applications and the clinical uses you have to see from there. So yeah, still it's the same thing, but if you want a concept, then this table is not enough. Just don't go to the table directly. First read the book, then come to the table. Then there's this pharmacokinetics and the drug interactions, and then the toxicities are also given. This is a short table which you go through at the end of just like half an hour before your test. So this is that kind of table. Other than that, they've also given a checklist for you to know that you have done everything. Then there's a questions. At the end of the chapter, there are questions given. That is the same thing that's also done in Lippincott. But I don't know, people, it's up to you. You can do the questions of both of the books. This actually makes your study easier because you get the concept, you test your concept, and then you can happily move forward. So this is it for this book. Obviously, we need another book. There is another book. We don't need another book, but there is another book which is the best. Like this is the best book somewhat. I don't know what to say, but that book has actually made lives easier, a lot of lives easier. This is Step 1 lecture notes. This is by Kaplan, and this book is actually a really good book. So yeah, this book, you can buy this book, and there are also CDs available for this book. I don't know where to get those CDs, but you know, a thing that starts with T and ends with Z, you can get those CDs from there. So yeah, this book is actually really good. You see how I made these notes over here and here. This book has very little information, the information that you only need to revise everything. The lecture notes here, it's like something that you need to revise. So what I do is I open my Lippincott, I open my Katzung, and when I'm done with Lippincott and Katzung, I come to this book and then I make these notes like this. So this is actually pretty easy. I haven't made a lot of notes over here, but I've actually just started studying properly. So yeah, let me show you the chapter that I have. It was this. I have stopped making notes on the book for some reason. I'll tell you later. So this is how you get the book. So you actually get the main chunk from here. This is actually very easy. If you want to read this whole thing before you want to go to the other books, that's good too. But what I did was I did the Lippincott, and while doing that, I took the chunks from this book as well. So it was pretty easy for me then, because I got the concept, and my paper actually had a question from here, the question from this part, so it was pretty easy. And then they have actually given a lot of things in very short way, So that is how you are able to make good notes. This is a good book. This is a very good book. This is the book you need at the end of the day. So get yourself these 3 books. I need to show you the books. Yeah, get yourself these 3 books for pharmacology. These are the good books, the best books that you can get. I don't think there are any other books that will help you more. Anyway, so now the thing comes that you need to make your notes, your own notes. So make your notes good, happy, the kind of notes that you'd want to read again, not the sad ones filled with information and you don't want to even look at it. So let me show you how I made the notes for these to show you. Okay, so this is it. So how I made the notes was that this is what I learned. So my notes will look nice because my notes mostly do not look nice before this. So you see, this is the heading. You give a heading with a nice color. I made this look like this was a heading, so it looks like a heading. I didn't know what else to do. Some people also put those sticky notes on it because I'm going to try that soon. They put the sticky notes, a big sticky note, so it looks really nice. Now it comes to the classification. Where do I do the classification from? I made this classification chart from Katzing and Travers. This classification chart is made from Katzing and Trevor. Then I moved forward. I had to write the mechanisms. This mechanism is written from this book, the Kaplan, because it was easier. So you actually write it. The Katzing, what you have to do is the Kaplan. The Kaplan has the same thing. Let me show you. You need to be vigilant while you're making notes because you need to save place and you need to save time and also, and you want to. So you see, this was, the whole information was given like this. So what I did, I saw that this is actually a comparison if you read it properly. So if you try to understand what it's given, actually, so it's a comparison. So what I did, I made a table instead. So in my notes, I made a table like this. So it potentiates GABA, it prolongs GABA activity, have no GABA mimetic activity, have GABA mimetic activity. So that's a comparison, obviously. This is what I did from Kaplan. These are the uses. The uses I did it from as a mixture from Lippincott and Kaplan because it was easier this way. So yeah, I did it from there, and then side effects from Lippincott because I was reading all 3 and whichever I liked more, whichever I felt like suited me more, I did that one. So this is, I wrote it as fast as possible. So this is the pharmacokinetics. I did the pharmacokinetics from Lippincott. Now what you have to say is that what is more important. The whole thing is never important. So you need to check what is important for you, which the examiner will ask you, because most of the stuff when you read it once or twice, it actually gets stuck in your head. The rest of the stuff which is most important, which you will probably forget while you're giving the paper, while you're giving the viva or whatever, so you have to actually write it down. So I actually wrote whatever I felt like I wanted to revise later. So this was given in the pay layer, so I actually put it a little away. This whole thing was given in a diagram. This one, I just wrote it down like this. Okay, so the mechanism of action of the benzodiazepines. Okay, here. So this chunk from here, the mechanism of action that I did before, I wanted to give it a more mature feel. So what I did was I wrote this part. If you can see it properly, I wrote this part from Lippincott. So this helped me a lot because this is more easier to understand. So you get the concept. If they actually ask you the question, so you'll be able to write what they ask. Always use a marker so you can actually highlight the stuff that the examiner would just look at and they'll be like, yeah, he wrote everything. So it's like cool. Anyways, this is how you do it. Other than that, in the barbiturates, I started it, I didn't complete it yet. So this is how I did it. I think you should also try your own way of making notes, and whatever suits you, do it. This is it for pharmacology. I hope it helps you. Again, I'll repeat. Start with Lippincott, do Katzung again, then actually what you can do is put your Katzung first, check the classification, write it down in your notes, then go for Lippincott. So you have your classification in front of you. Other than that, then you go to Katzung, then you go to Lippincott, then Katzung, and then Kaplan, and then your notes. Now this is another thing, these are the pharmacological classifications are also available as these big classification charts. I have one with me. If I can show you in a minute, I'll just show you the classification chart that I have. I don't know if it's available every place, but it was available at my college bookshop. So I bought one, and it's very, very helpful because whenever I need to do something, it's like near my study table. So yeah, it's helped a lot. It helps a lot. So I'm just going to show you that, and then that's the end for pharmacology. So this is my classification chart for pharmacology, pharmacological classification. It has a classification according to all the subjects that I'll be studying, and this the chapter that I just did. I can show you CNS completely if you want to see it. This is how the classification is given in these notes. So it's like really easy this way. I find it very helpful, and I hope it's helpful for other people too. If you get one of these, just get one of these and put it on your wall. It will help you remember while you're walking, and you can actually just put an eye on it, and it's very helpful. Anyways, so that is it for pharmacology. That is it, and I hope your study goes as well as possible and you do really well. Thank you.